Hello, and welcome back to episode 8 of the Mystic Space podcast. So, today we are going to be talking about confidence and how I gained my confidence because it is something that I am super passionate about now. And I truly believe that everybody has this confidence within themselves and deserves to be confident within themselves. And going through my own journey of confidence, coming from somebody who is not confident at all to somebody who is, and it's crazy to even be portrayed as confident now because me a few years ago would never have believed this. But going through this journey myself was so empowering, and now my passion is to empower other people to be confident. So when someone sees someone that's confident, even people that portray me now as very confident, they assume that they must have always been confident. And that's not always the case. Yes, some people might have always been not born confident because I don't think anyone's like born with that confidence, if that makes sense. It's kind of just depending on how you were conditioned and your environment and everything like that. Obviously, if you had parents that like lift you up and everything like that, it's going to change how you see yourself. So everybody's kind of different on that spectrum. Everyone's on a different journey. But I believe that confidence can always be brought within ourselves. It can always be something that is taught, even if you were brought up with zero confidence. So, my own personal backstory is I was never a confident person. I may have portrayed myself to be that way, especially like in my early like teens or like early adulthood, like when I was like between 17 and 20. I probably was very like outgoing, and like that's when I was like going clubbing a little bit and things like that. So I probably really portrayed that I was confident, but I was not inside. I was always comparing myself to other girls. I was always jealous if I was ever in a relationship. I could not stand my partner ever having friends of the opposite sex because I would be so jealous. I was always picking apart my body. Even when I was skinny, I was still picking myself apart, thinking that I needed to be skinnier, thinking that I needed to have bigger boobs, bigger ass, like flatter stomach, more abs showing. And it only seemed to get worse as I aged because then we started getting more like stretch marks and cellulite, and your body is changing because it's normal for your body to change. But when you're not like shown that that part is normal and we're expected to look like 16-year-olds forever, it can be really hard. Ever since I was a little girl, I remember being so caught up in like, you know, TV and things like that because I grew up with like Britney Spears and like all of that as like our icons, and they were always so skinny. And people like, I think it was like Jessica Simpson or someone like that, that was like just a little bit bigger than skinnier. Like they were still skinny, but they just weren't like, straight, and they had some curves. They were considered fat, and there was always like headlines of blah 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 has gained weight, and then they'd show like a photo of what looks like a normal belly, but we were not taught that that was normal. We were always like striving and aiming to be this stick skinny people, and we were ingrained with that since we were children. I remember all the magazines that I used to read as a child, like it was just always about like how to lose weight, how to go on a diet, how to, attract the boys, and like all of that sort of stuff. Like that shit was so programmed into us as specifically as women, but just in our society in general. And it really impacts the way that we look at ourselves and how we think about ourselves. And obviously, I can't speak from a man's point of view, but from a woman's point of view, it was really pushed on us from such a young age. Like, I remember in high school, I got bullied for growing leg hair, and I wanted to shave so badly. And I remember all the like magazines and everything, like I said, it was always about like this perfect body. Perfect body. It was like how to achieve the perfect body, how to achieve the bikini body, how to achieve like a beach body. And if you weren't that size that they portrayed, you were felt like you were made to feel like you were unworthy, like you were unattractive. And it was something that I remember even as a child, even like such a young teenager, it was something that I was striving to be. And that makes me really sad now that I'm, a lot more of an older adult. When we're a teenager, we're compared to so many things, especially like as a woman, we're compared to porn stars. Teenage boys start watching porn, and then we get compared to that. And why don't we look like that? Why don't we perform like that? And it really fucks with our mental health. It really does. It fucks with our image. It fucks with who we think we should look like, because again, these people are usually either perfected or young or whatever it is, and it's just not the normal. Just because there's a few girls that look like that, that does not mean that every girl looks like that. It can be something like simple, like with our body parts, as an example. Obviously, most porn stars have big breasts and they're perky and they're sitting up, and not a lot of women have those naturally. And when boys see our breasts that are not like the porn stars or not like the models and not like everything else that we're portrayed in TV, not only do they sometimes say something, but it also makes us feel like shit because we know we don't look like those people. And yes, of course, teenage boys will be teenage boys, and a lot of them will say, like, that you're not attractive because you don't look like XYZ and you don't have these type of tits. Like, it's something that we're compared to so much. And that was just in my generation when I was a teenager. I feel like it would be so much worse now because of social media. I am very grateful that I didn't grow up with social media because I think that would have been a lot worse. And I think that the children that are growing up with social media right now are probably getting compared a lot worse because there's just so much more of it. Whereas, at least when I was a teenager, it was more just what we saw on TV and magazines. It's not kind of like on our phones directly in our faces 24/7. So, honestly, the start of my self love journey, it was kind of forced. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I got to a point where my physical health deteriorated and I was going in and out of the hospitals. And I have a podcast episode about all of my health journey and everything like that. So I won't go into detail, but I was really defeated with my physical health, and I had to quit my job, and being in and out of the hospital and getting tests done and just being bedridden and not being able to like get up in the morning and just know if you're going to feel okay that day and just not get to live your everyday life. It really took a toll on me. And I remember laying down on like a hospital bed one time, and I was just thinking about, like, my body and my physical appearance, and it kind of just clicked to me that none of that really matters. Like, now that I kind of take got my physical health taken away from me, my physical looks really don't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter what I look like. I just really wish that I could get out of bed right now. I just really wish that I could go to the beach because I love the beach. And yeah, I was unable to go a lot because I was in pain and I was very up and down. And when I lived there, when I was going through all of this, where I lived, the beach was like an hour and something away from me as well. So it wasn't like an easy 5-minute walk either. So it was like a lot, and that would have taken a lot of my energy back then. So I unfortunately didn't go to the beach, and the beach has always been like my happy, safe place. And I was just like, "Oh, I wish I could just go to the beach." And it made me realize, like, who cares what my body would look like at the beach? Because all I could dream of was just being at the beach. And I just could close my eyes and it would not matter what my physical body looked like at all anymore. It just did not matter. And that really clicked in my head. And that's why I say my self love journey was kind of more forced. Obviously, it wasn't like a click switch and I just all of a sudden became confident from that moment on. But that moment on, I really realized how little our physical body even matters, like the way it looks anyway. Obviously, our physical body matters because it's important. It helps us carry us through life, but that's the health aspect of it. That's important. The fact that you have a body and that it's healthy. That's what's important, not what it looks like. It was at this point when I truly understood what acceptance meant. Accepting what I have as my physical body and accepting that this just is what it is. This is just my physical body. Everybody has a physical body. And that was really freeing to just really just accept my body for the first time in my whole life. Now, obviously, like I said, it wasn't like a full 180 flip and I didn't just become the most confident person straight after that. But that was my journey. And with that, I also did a lot more self love work, which I know we've probably all heard a lot of self love. And, people probably think that's all about like baths and stuff like that, which it can be. But for me, I just want to remind you that it's more of a mental thing when you're talking about self love. It's more about your mind and your mindset. So while you're doing the things that you feel like you want to do for your self love, it's also really important to work on your mind and on your mindset. And for me, that involves unlearning for the most part. Really just unlearning the societal norms, the fake beauty standard that was literally it's just made up. Like, the beauty standard is fake. that was just made up. And unprogramming our minds, all the crap that we were fed since we were children about what we should look like, what we should eat, you know, whether you had parents that picked you apart, because I know a lot of people did, whether you heard your parents, because sometimes your parents might not directly, say you are fat. Unfortunately, a lot of parents do that, but they might not necessarily even need to do that. You might watch your mum getting ready in the mirror and she's picking herself apart. She's, grabbing her stomach and saying that, oh, she wishes she was skinnier. Oh, she wishes her boobs weren't saggy. Oh, she hates these wrinkles. She hates that. And you just hearing that as a child programmed your own mind to believe that about yourself. So that when you saw your belly, when you saw your wrinkles, when you saw all these things, you were now thinking that they must be ugly because you've heard that from society and you've heard it from people around you that you love and that you were looking up to. So it's really about sitting with yourself and reminding yourself that the only reason why you believe this person is the most beautiful girl in the world is because of conditions around you. A lot of the times it's just what other people have pushed onto you that you think is beautiful and that what society thinks is beautiful. And then we've kind of created what some people like to call a collective consciousness, like a collective agreement on something, which is what we call the beauty standard. It's like we've all collectively agreed, and I do quotation marks right now, that XYZ is beautiful because they're skinny and blonde and whatever it is, obviously. And beauty standards are different in different parts of the world as well. That's why I say it's literally fake. It's literally made up. It's just a construct that humans have put together, and it's stupid to compare yourself to this beauty standard because, again, it's fake and it's forever changing. You could be considered beautiful in one country and ugly in another country. Like, it's just ridiculous to keep holding yourself to a standard that doesn't even exist. And then reparenting yourself and telling yourself that, you are beautiful the way you are, and to help yourself accept who you are. Because again, there was probably some traumas that happened along the way that made you not feel worthy. And that's kind of what stems from this, not feeling confident within yourself. Maybe you got embarrassed in primary school about something. Maybe you had a bully that picked on you, whatever it is, right? Those are all traumas that happened to you. And your brain has now tried to keep you safe. And it's done that by making sure that you're not confident. So you don't put yourself back out there because you don't want to be humiliated again. You don't want to be made fun of again. You don't want to appear not beautiful or not perfect. And I think that's one really powerful thing we need to do is let go of this expectation of perfect. And another thing that is self-love is things like setting boundaries. And I know that probably doesn't sound like self-love, but it is, because setting boundaries with people is loving yourself, is respecting yourself. That's why I say this goes on so much more of a deeper level. This is so much more of a mental thing than just your physical confidence, because the physical confidence comes when the internal feels confident. When you feel confident within who you are, when you walk through this path being authentic, then that confidence comes from within and that just projects on your external. So setting boundaries is important because you're not people pleasing, you're not being stepped on, and you're respecting yourself. And when you can do that in all aspects of life, so you've set boundaries and you've cut out toxic people, you are setting yourself up for success because you are starting to believe in yourself. You're starting to trust yourself. You're starting to respect yourself. And you're starting to go, you know what? I'm not putting up with any other fucking bullshit that's going to put me or my worth down. And that's mental and physical. And along with that, another thing is do more things that put you in a state of play. Do more things that, you create from, whether that's dancing or art or whatever it is. Because doing things like that, again, it's going to build that confidence within yourself. You're going to have fun with yourself. You're going to be more aligned with who you are and who you truly want to be. And again, that confidence that you build within yourself and your self identity that is what projects on the external. Now, of course, there's a lot of like physical things that you can do for self love. Obviously, people know things like going to a spa if you can afford it, getting massages, having baths, and things like that. Yes, they're all like great forms of self love. They're things that I still love to do. I love taking a bath. I take a self love ritual bath, which is just amazing. If you're into like witchy things, or whether you're not, you could just like add some rose petals or something like that, and just kind of like, you know, give yourself that little ritual that you have with yourself, that just take that step a little bit further rather than just having a bath. You're having a bath for yourself, you're having a bath to relax, you're having a bath to just be present with yourself, to slow down, whatever it is. Make whatever you do for your self love into more of like a ritual. Even like oiling your body, that's something that I love doing after a shower or something like that. Just getting oil and just massaging your body, just giving yourself a little massage, just sending some love to your body, whether you want to say affirmations at the same time, whether you want to play some affirmations in the background at the same time, or whether you just want to stare at yourself in the mirror and just give yourself a massage and just be present with your body. Mirror work is one of my favorite things to do, and that's something I started doing on my own self love journey so much. So, my favorite thing is just literally getting naked, going in front of a mirror, and either saying affirmations or dancing. And I just love putting on, like, I have like a sexy feminine playlist that I have, and I just like put it on, and it's like drumming music, and it's just like sensual and it's nice. And I just, you just kind of just have fun with your body in the mirror. You don't have to look in the mirror if you don't want to. Honestly, for some people, that might be hard initially. So don't look in the mirror then. You don't even need to get naked. Just put on some songs that you like and just dance. Just feel into your body. Close your eyes and let go of the expectation of what you look like or how dumb you look or how silly you look, because you probably do look silly, but it does not matter. You need to feel into your body and just move. Let your body move you. Try to get out of your mind and try to like not think about what movements to do, but rather just like let your body loose. Just let your body literally move. And whether that's just like shaking around and looking crazy, or whether that's like actually trying to dance or whatever it is, just let your body go. Other things I like to focus on are more things like skincare, and that's more because like I feel confident when my skin looks good when I don't need to put makeup on. And I'm not saying makeup's bad or anything like that. I've had like, a huge love-hate relationship with makeup because I used to be the type of person that would put makeup on heavily. I used to want to be a makeup artist actually. So I used to put on like a full face of makeup, and I got to a point where I could not leave the house until I had full face of makeup on because otherwise I felt ugly and I felt like not myself. So I'm not saying that anything is bad with makeup, because now I've gotten to a point where, yeah, I love to put makeup on, but it's from a completely different place. And for me, something like skincare or just like physically working out is like making me feel better from the inside again. Like my skin's looking good or my physical body's looking good, and not looking good in like a physical sense either. I mean, like strong. For me, I have a lot of goals to do things like a handstand and stuff like that. Not to look a certain way, but to feel a certain way, to go for hikes and not be exhausted, things like that. That will give you that confidence from within, and you're going to start to feel good about your body again from a physical, like internal kind of way rather than external, if that makes sense. And honestly, this might sound really simple, but just get ready. Like, just put in that little bit of effort every day in some way. For some people, brushing your teeth is hard. So if that's what's hard for you and you don't tend to do that, then brush your teeth, brush your hair, things like that. Just get yourself like that feeling of I'm ready at all times. Not quite literally all times, obviously, because that's just not possible. And that would probably just send you into a spiral of having to always look good 24/7. But you know what I mean? Like, just in the morning when you first wake up, wash your face, brush your teeth, like, just make yourself feel like you're put together and that you're ready. And that obviously looks different for everybody, but in whatever way that makes you feel like, oh, yeah, I'm ready, then that's going to give you that confidence that no matter what's going to happen in your day, no matter what, you're just feeling that little bit better, like that little bit more put together. One of my favorite things to remind myself is just that this is like a sim character that I get to dress up. This is just like a sim, like a meat suit that carries me throughout this life so that I can have this experience. So it's kind of like, imagine when you were young and you were like playing, games. I don't know if you guys ever played like Sims or anything like that, but I used to love like playing Sims and like, making up my own character. So it's kind of like, remember that this is like your sim and just do it for your inner child if you want to. Like, do it for your inner teen. Like, dress the way you want to dress. Dress up your body however you want to dress. If you want to wear your hair in pigtails, if you want to shave your head, if you want to do this, like whatever you think looks cool, like just fucking do it. Okay. Life is way too fucking short. Get the fucking tattoos if you want. Do whatever it is. Get the piercings. Like, whatever it is, do that because this is just a body. It's literally just a body. It's going to end up in the ground or whatever else you choose to do with your body at the end of the day anyway. Like, that's not what matters. What matters is that your soul is happy, right? And this is just like a meat suit. It doesn't even freaking matter. Like, I started getting tattoos for myself because I love tattoos, and ever since I was young and I like played Sims. If you guys ever played Sims Herbs, that was like my favorite one to play. And I just used to love putting my like Sims tatted up from head to toe. And I always like imagined having tattoos, and my parents hate tattoos. So it took me a while. But now that I'm an adult, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I started getting tattoos and I love it. Like, I feel so much more confident because I feel so much more me. Like, when I dress up in a way that makes me feel good, I feel so much more me. So dress however it is that you want to dress. If you want to wear baggy clothes, then that's what's going to make you feel good, then just do that. Because instead of sitting there and trying to wear like tight jeans or a tight dress where you're feeling uncomfortable and you're like, constantly trying to loosen them up and you're fixing them up and everything like that, that's not going to make you feel confident. You're going to feel probably more insecure, if anything. So dress comfortably and dress however it is that you want to dress. Fuck the beauty standard, fuck what's normal, fuck what everyone else thinks. Dress however you want to dress. Oh, and one really big thing that I did for myself while I was on this self-love journey, and I'm not saying that this is what you need to do, but I stopped shaving. Like, I mean, everything from head to toe. I stopped shaving because it was just one of those things that I realized while I was on this self-love journey, like about the beauty standard. I was learning all about like the beauty standard and what we think is attractive and what we don't. And I learned how much men think it's very unattractive for women to have body hair. And there was something that I kind of like did for myself to prove that I don't need any external validation, especially men's validation. But I also wanted to know that I could still feel beautiful even if I didn't look like the beauty standard. And for me, that was just not shaving. So that was really, really hard at the start. Like, when I first went to the beach without shaving, that was really hard because I remember when I would go to the beach, I would always have to make sure I'd have like a proper shower before so that I could shave like my legs and, my JJ and everything like that, and my armpits. And going to the beach for the first time when I hadn't shaved, it was a little bit scary. And then once I was there, I just kind of really felt free. And I just really did not care at that point anymore because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's just a body. Another great thing you can do for your own self love and self confidence is go out of your comfort zone because it builds trust and connection within yourself. And like I said earlier, when you work on the inside, it projects on the outside. So whether that's, starting to go on like solo dates by yourself, whether that's going to the movies by yourself or just going out to eat or get a coffee by yourself or go out to the beach, you don't always have to wait for someone to do something. Learning to go and do things on your own and pushing yourself out there is going to gain you so much confidence. Like, for me, as an example, I went on a solo trip. I highly recommend, if anybody can go on a solo trip, please do it because it will boost your confidence like crazy because you're just completely vulnerable. You're just like, you're putting yourself out there and you have to trust in yourself and you gain that confidence within yourself. You make decisions, and yeah, obviously there's bumps and lots of ups and downs, but at the end of the day, like, you build such a good, strong connection to yourself when you do things like that, when you push yourself out of comfort zones. Which brings me to my biggest point of all is you need to stop giving a fuck about what other people think and what they say and what they believe. First of all, you need to recognize that everybody's living in their own world and that's their own perception. Okay? Everyone just projects how they feel internally, externally anyway. Most people do not give a flying shit about you. Like, how many times do you remember someone at the beach that was next to you that was probably doing something what you would call quote unquote embarrassing or something like that, you just don't remember these things because people just don't care. For the most part, if you go out in public and you turned on your camera and you did a dance or whatever it is, right? Or you recorded yourself or whatever. Yeah, there might be some people that would give you a look, but who cares? For the most part, most people will not even know who the fuck you are. You're never going to see those people again and they don't care. And for the people who are care and who do care and are just being judgy, who cares about them? They're just a very small minority of people. And are you going to keep holding your life back because of a small minority of people that may or may not judge you? And again, most of those people, they're just projecting. That's all humans ever do. They're just projecting. So most of the time, they're probably just jealous. They probably just could not ever have that confidence of doing that themselves. So they're just judging you. You have to remember that somebody is always going to hate you, no matter what you do. Literally, you could be the most ideal, quote unquote, perfect person out there, and somebody's still going to hate you. Somebody's still going to judge you because that's just what humanity is. Okay. Everybody's different, and it should be a beautiful thing. We shouldn't be judging each other and hating each other for it. Like, as an example, the beauty standard or someone's perception of beauty is so different. I might be so beautiful to somebody and so ugly to somebody else, and that's okay. It's not something that we should try to like achieve this. We need to be perfect for everybody or we need to be attractive for everybody because that's just, it's not reality. It's not reality. You don't find every single person in this world attractive because you're different. You have your own things that you're attracted to. Everybody is different. So there's no point trying to strive to be perfect and be liked by everybody because everybody is different. Everybody has a completely different perception of beauty. And this is why you should never compare yourself to another person. The beauty of another does not take away the beauty of yourself. Just because there's other people out there that you perceive as beautiful does not mean that you cannot also be beautiful. It's like comparing different flowers. Like, roses are beautiful, but so are sunflowers. They're completely different. One doesn't have to be more beautiful than the other. One doesn't take away the beauty from the other. Some people just prefer sunflowers and some people prefer roses. And that's okay. It doesn't make the other ugly or useless or unworthy. You have to remember that your looks are like literally like this tiny, tiny little percentage of who you are. Like, it just makes up this tiny percentage of who it is that you are. So your physical body really doesn't matter. I'm telling you, the people around you that love you, they don't love you for your physical body. They don't love you for your tits or your flat stomach or your clear skin or anything like that, or your straight teeth. They don't love you for those things. And if they do, then probably shouldn't have them in your life because that's just very superficial. I mean, yeah, obviously attraction can matter, but in a romantic relationship, but that's not the reason why you love somebody. That's not the reason why anybody loves you. I can guarantee you that the people around you, they're going to name so many more things they love about you before they even think about your physical body. You are loved for so much more than this meat suit. That's just like this tiny little percentage of who you are. It doesn't even mean anything. It changes all the time. Imagine from when we were born, we were babies. Imagine what we looked like. And then what we're going to look like when we're 90. We're going to look completely different and we're going to keep changing and going throughout that way. Like, it's literally just something that we have to accept. It just is what it is. It's just our physical body, and it's such a small part of who we are. The only part that really matters is the fact that it's healthy and it can carry us throughout this life. So that hopefully we do get to 90 years old and we're healthy and able to move and things like that. That's what's important. Not what we're going to look like, because we're all going to end up looking pretty similar. We're all going to end up with gray hair and wrinkles and all of that. And at the end of the day, like I said before, we're all going to end up in the ground anyway. It really doesn't matter. Your physical body is such a small aspect of who you are. And my last point that I want to remind you is that this is a forever going journey. Self love is about the journey and not the destination. You don't just like reach this, level of confidence or something like that, and then you just stop doing anything. It doesn't work that way. This is something that we keep doing. We keep implementing in our lives, in our daily routines, whatever it is that works for you. Again, everybody is so different. And there's no point following someone's exact self-love routine because it might not work for you. You need to find what works for you, and what works for you is what makes you feel good. So keep putting in that effort with yourself. You need to see yourself as having a relationship with yourself, just like you have relationships with people around you that you love. You need to put effort to keep those relationships happy and healthy, right? You need to do that with yourself. You need to keep on putting effort with yourself every day in some way. You're not going to have your 10-step skincare routine every single day. And if you don't do that once, that means you don't love yourself. No, that's not what I mean. But I mean doing something for yourself, whether that's every day or whether you start implementing it, it becomes like a habit almost that you do these things for yourself. Whatever it is, again, everyone's different. Your journey is completely different than mine. But never stop putting in effort with yourself. Never stop loving yourself. Never stop finding ways to implement that within yourself, again, from the inside, and then so that can project onto the outside. So it's not just about making sure you do your skincare every day. It's about making sure that you remind yourself that you're beautiful and that you're amazing and that you're worthy of love and that you matter so much more than just your physical body. This is why I love affirmations. I absolutely love affirmations so much. I do affirmations in the mirror. I journal affirmations every single day. Sometimes I play affirmations like music or something like that, just a YouTube video. If you literally type in like affirmations or if you want to type in goddess affirmations or whatever it is, there's so many videos out there and you can just play one of those while you're in the bath or while you're doing your skincare and things like that. And I promise you, the more and more you do these sort of things, the more it will become a part of like your habit, the more you will start to change how you feel about yourself. The more you keep repeating to yourself what you want, so that you want to be like, see yourself as worthy, that you want to be confident, that you want to accept what your body looks like, that you want to love your body. The more you repeat these things to yourself, you will strengthen that connection and it will become easier and easier. And eventually, it will become things that you believe. They will become things that you say to yourself automatically. And I know that might seem crazy or hard or impossible for a lot of you. And I know that for me years ago, that would have sounded crazy because when I first started doing mirror work, I did not believe that I was going to get confident. Like, how could I just stare at myself in the mirror and tell myself I am beautiful, even though I did not believe it? But that's just like the power of reprogramming our mind, which is something I talk about a lot. We can change. We can change what was put into this brain. We can change our beliefs. Those are things that we can change. So you can change the way you view yourself. You can change the way you believe in yourself. And you can change to become a more confident person that loves themselves and fully accepts themselves for who they are. Anyway, I just want to remind you that you are worthy, you are amazing, you deserve to be loved, and you deserve to walk through this life with full acceptance of yourself and to love yourself. And I really hope that this episode helped you in some way, maybe gave you some sort of inspiration or something to help you gain that confidence within yourself, because you deserve it. And I know it's within you already, just needs to come out and you just need to let it shine. And I promise you, you're going to feel so much better and more aligned with yourself. Anyway, I'll see you in my next episode. I love you. Blessings.